Hello again, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name's Tom, and I'm a Senior Marketing Executive with the University of Essex Online. I'm just going to quickly introduce today's speakers and the agenda before we begin. Joining us today is Elle Bogue, who is Head of Psychology, and Chelsea Casey, who is an Admissions Advisor. Onto the agenda, and Elle will kick things off by taking you through the undergraduate online psychology courses we offer at Essex Online, and Chelsea will then discuss the admissions and enrolment process. We will have a live Q&A session at the end, so if you do have any questions throughout the presentation, please pop them in the Q&A box and we'll do our best to answer those at the end of the presentation. First of all, why study with us? You'll gain a recognised qualification with a university that is ranked in the top 15 universities in the UK, as per the recent Guardian University rankings for 2026. There's an emphasis on the classroom experience with experienced academics who bring real-world perspectives such as working environments to your online studies. We have programs that focus on employability and equipping students with sector-specific skills and optional modules to allow you to tailor the courses to your specialisms. Furthermore, we are rated silver in the Teaching Excellence Framework. We offer an interactive learning platform which is available to students 24/7. We have a cohort of tutors who ensure a quick response to student emails. There are opportunities for one-to-one sessions with tutors and live Q&A sessions and seminars. All our programs are 100% online and part-time to fit around your lifestyle, and no in-person attendance is required. I'll now hand over to Elle, who will discuss the undergraduate psychology programs.
So we have three undergraduate psychology programs, which all also have a HE entry point at level 4. But we have the BSc Honours in Psychology, which is BPS accredited, so it has a PSRB regulatory standards that are met. So it's just recently been accredited and will be accredited now until 2031-32. We also have the BSc Honours in Business Psychology and the BSc Honours in Criminal Psychology, which are currently not accredited by the BPS. The BSc Psychology, as I say, it's accredited by the BPS, and this covers a range of core and systematically core subjects that are aligned with psychology chartered career groups. This is social research methods, it's individual differences, it's cognition, neuroscience, neurobiology, to name just a few. Research methods features very heavily in psychology because it is a research science, and it is there as an underpinning into career groups, into chartered career groups, should you wish to then pursue that. If you complete with a degree of 2-2 or above, you can then become you can enter a master's program which will enter you then to chartered status. So it's a real opener to a number of various courses, both postgraduately but also into careers. So people with psychology degrees go into multiple careers. They go into HR, they go into teaching, they go into the prison service, they go into all sorts of different areas, as well as going on to do other studies. So the course structure is level 4 is introductory. There is no requirement to have psychology as any undergraduate or pre-graduate element of your qualifications at all. The whole point of level 4 is to give you all, at the end of level 4, the opportunity to all be on a level playing field. This is because most subjects that are taught don't include things such as research methods, which, as I say, is intrinsic to psychology as a research science. So we start with ARM, which is just a course, a very short course that you take just to show that you are ready to learn. And then you go on in order, starting with fundamentals in effective learning in psychology, which introduces you to academic skills, how to write academically, how to think academically, to start to develop some of the critical thinking skills that will be required later on in the course. There's introduction to social psychology, which is a core area, as is personality intelligence, cognitive psychology, and mental health and stress and well-being, and as I say, research methods. There are 2 research methods modules at level 4. You can double up if you choose, on level 4 modules, except for research methods modules and fundamentals for effective learning in psychology. If you pass the first year, you can then go on to the second year, and then you will study more advanced level, and more critical thinking will be expected of you across a number of other core domains, or included in advanced core domains, including biological, advanced social psychology, quantitative psychology, and qualitative psychology are taught as two separate individual stratagems for research, because the paradigms underpinning them and the nature of the research are very, very different. It's almost like you've got one side of you thinks with one half of your brain to do qualitative, and then the other half will be more numerical and deals with quantitative data. Forensic psychology, health psychology, and educational psychology are all vocational psychological routes, but they are options. You choose one of those three as an option at level 5, but all the rest are core modules or compulsory. At level 6, which is the final year, this is when your real critical thinking skills have to come into the fore. So you will do critical social psychology. You'll also do psychology of sport and exercise, investigative psychology, occupational psychology, and clinical and counselling. You will choose one of those as an option as well. So you can choose 2 options from that. But the most important thing is, if you want to get your honours degree, is you must do your final research empirical project, which is an independent research project where you will work alongside a supervisor who will have expertise in that particular area that you are interested in, a proposal for which you will write at the end of level 5, so that you go into level 6 ready and prepared to start undertaking your independent empirical research project. So on the next slide is the BSc Business Psychology course, and this is a course that is combined with business, in the name. So primarily it is psychology, so I believe it's 70-30%, so 70% is psychology and 30% is business. And so the business modules are all run by the Department of Business, and they are run, the tutors that are there are from business. All the psychology modules are those that are on the current undergraduate course, and they are taught all by psychology tutors. And you will be in with students who are studying on business modules for your business elements, but for your psychology modules, you will only be with psychology students. Within the business psychology module, again, you will have optional modules that you can take. So at level 4, as you can see, it's exactly the same format. But you can take personality and intelligence and business management skills. You take one at level 4, an optional module, so what will be a psychology one or a business one. In level 5, there are no optional modules. This is core for your, so this is just core module that we've got on the undergraduate program at level 5. At level 6, again, you will do a final psychology project. But you can have your psychology project that is aimed towards a business market. So it may be that you may want to undertake further studies in business psychology, maybe do an MSc in business psychology, or maybe specialise in industrial psychology at a master's level. And then the criminal psychology course, again, is undergraduate, and this looks really at investigative psychology and evidence-based psychology within, and considers within the legal system. I have background working in forensic psychology, so I'm very interested in this, and I work a lot with criminologists. So the areas of psychology also remain core along level 4, and you will be able to, throughout all 3 of the courses, be able to develop your research methods skills that will be required should you choose to go on to continue study, or even to apply them within the workplace. At level 4, again, you have 2 optional modules, so dealing with offending behaviour and personality and intelligence. Personality and intelligence being the psychology module, and dealing with offending behaviour is a criminology module. At level 5, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options that are all criminology, of which you can take 2. So these will change. The reason that our options aren't are sometimes seen as if you enroll, they might not be exactly the same. It's because they've introduced new modules as options instead. So criminal investigation, for example, criminology as a science. What is criminology? How does it differ from psychology? And I think across both of these combined courses, you're at an advantage because you're able to apply psychology to other domains. Whereas with single honors psychology, you apply psychology to psychology. And the final part of the criminal psychology undergraduate degree, again, you will have an option to take. So you have policing, economics of crime, and criminal justice in the information age. This is cyber criminology and cyber security. You will take another two of those. And again, you will take a final psychology project. And you are able, as your psychology project, to be able to take something that is criminological in basis. So you may be interested in juvenile behaviour. You might be particularly interested in a particular area. As long as it can get through ethics, then we are happy. So across all of these things, research methods really underpins the whole of psychology. And as I say, if you are doing a combined honours degree, you are actually putting yourself at an advantage in many ways, apart from it not being BPS accredited. So over to Chelsea.
Yeah, so with the actual admissions process, you can make an inquiry on the website without submitting an application. So you can inquire about the program and download one of the course booklets. If you did want to just apply directly, there is a separate form that you'd be able to complete to apply, and there is no fee to submit an application with us. Once we've got your application and all of your supporting documents, we'll then be able to submit that for a formal review. Once the review has come back, we usually get back in contact with students between 24 to 48 hours with regards to the outcome. And if successful, we will then send over your official offer letter, which will include your study plan and your payment plan. So the study planner will just show the modules that you will be due to take and the durations of each one. And the payment plan will break down the annual fees. And if you did opt to pay monthly, it will show the monthly payment amount as well and include both of the links to be able to accept your place. So you will be required to pay the deposit payment to secure your place, which will cover the first month of your studies. And there will also be an online acceptance form. So, regards to the entry requirements for all three of the programs that have been discussed are the same. So, we do have an academic entry route and a work experience entry route for all of them. Uh, to meet the academic entry route, you would need to have three A levels or an equivalent level three qualification. If you're not sure on what your qualification would equate to, you can send that to us and we'll be able to have a look at the comparison. And the work experience route would be 3 years relevant work experience as well as a GCSE maths and English at grade C or above. So that would be a level two. We do also have an English language requirement if your first language isn't English or if you haven't previously studied in English. You would be required to have an IELTS score of 6 or an equivalent qualification. If not, we do offer a free English language test with our admissions process. So once we've received your application and supporting documents, we can send out the online link to the free test that we do offer. If you don't meet the requirements for the academic or the work experience route, we do also have the Cert HE route, which Elle briefly touched on. That is the level 4 standalone qualification, which is offered as an open entry route. So you wouldn't need to have any prior qualifications or experience to meet the requirements for that one. And it will also give you the opportunity, once you've completed it, to move on to the level 5 and level 6 modules to be able to get the full bachelor's at the end. The tuition fees for the programs, we do have the same tuition fee for UK students and international students at the moment. So the Cert HE for 25-26 academic year is £6,996, And for the full bachelor's degree, it would be £20,987. For the payment methods, students who are eligible and living in the UK, we do accept student finance funding. We do advise that you do check the government website for your eligibility before applying with us. It's not something that we can advise on here at the university. The payment options, we do have the upfront payment option and the monthly payment option. If you did choose to pay the fees up front, you would receive a 5% discount. And if you did opt for the monthly installments, that is offered to all students. We do also have some regional scholarships available for students residing in certain countries. You can ask your admissions advisor about those when you do apply, and they'll be able to advise if you would be eligible for those. There is also a 10% alumni discount available as well. We do have the 21-day money back guarantee period. So during the induction period, if you do find that the course is not right for you or you're not able to commit to the program, you do have 21 days from the program start date to withdraw and receive your deposit or payment in full back, so that you don't have to carry on the program. So if you are interested in applying for the program, you'll be able to follow the link on the bottom of the presentation, or you can find on our website under the Apply Now section. You will just need to submit a 300 to 500 word personal statement, just explaining the reasons why you've chosen to study the program and why you've chosen to study with us here online. An official form of ID that does include your date of birth, copies of any educational certificates that you do have. If these are not currently in English, we will need them translated by an official translator to be in support of your application, and then a copy of your up-to-date CV. And the next available start dates that we have for the upcoming 25-26 academic year is the 13th of January, the 17th of March, the 26th of May, and the 28th of July. We do also have an intake in October of 2026, but this does enter the academic year of 26 to 27, so there may be a change in the fee structures.
Thank you, Chelsea, and thank you, Elle, for taking the time to present today. We do hope you found that useful and that you are considering studying with us. We do have some time left for some questions, so if you do have any, please drop them in the Q&A box and we'll do our best to answer those. One that we've had already, I'll come to you, Elle, is someone said that they're studying psychology and they're in second grade. Do you accept some of their completed course?
It depends how it maps onto the learning outcomes of the courses, that the modules that we run now. So what happens is the learning outcomes of the course that you're on now will be judged against the learning outcomes of the modules that we offer. So if you're taking research methods, for example, and you're doing quantitative, but you've not done any qualitative, that may let you off some of the partial credits for research methods or social psychology or anything, but it'll allow you some partial credits if you meet the same learning outcomes. So this isn't something that's called APL in or RPL in. So yes, we do take that into consideration where and when it is relevant.
Thank you. I think it's worth noting it's probably a case by case basis.
It is a case by case basis.
Yeah,
and they get sent to me.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, if you're still interested, get in touch and we'll hopefully be able to help you out. Another question we've had, and again, I'll come to you, Elle, is how would students interact with other students? Obviously, with it being online study, they miss the in-person kind of interaction that they would get with on-campus study. So how do we kind of curtail that with online study?
How do we navigate it? Well,
Yeah, navigate it.
one of
Sorry,
the
yes.
ways that we navigate it is that we often will have an assessment which is called a CLQ, so which is a collaborative learning question. And this will be on a topic that's set by the associate tutor who will be running your modules. and they will set a question and then you respond. And then you will have response from other members within your cohort to your point, your question, your query, the post that you make. And then you make, you I think you have to do 2 or 3 posts of 300 words towards theirs. We also really encourage students to attend online seminars. So our tutors will run a weekly session that is online. So we do encourage students to come along, where they can, one, they can see each other, they can hide behind the screen, doesn't make any difference. But it's an opportunity to ask questions that you might have. But it's also another thing we do is we encourage study buddies, particularly those that are overseas who are in the same time zone, because frequently we will have students who are not in our time zone, and they may feel a bit isolated. So we get them as much as we can to study buddy up with each other. And we encourage the use of WhatsApp groups as well. So we use lots and lots of resources. There are online forums. There's so many things to be involved with where you do not have to feel isolated in your studies.
Perfect. Thank you, Elle. I'll come to you next, Chelsea. Question that we've had is from applying to enrolment, roughly how long does that process take?
I suppose it will depend on how quickly you're able to accept your place. So from applying with all of your supporting documents to receiving your offer, we can usually get that sent out to you minimum of 48 hours. Usually, it is done between 24 to 48. And then you are advised to secure your place within 2 weeks, so to pay the deposit payment and to complete the online acceptance form. But some students do email us just to see if they are eligible for an extension on that, and we can usually advise on a case by case. But if you are to send the deposit payment and accept the place on the day that you receive the offer letter, you can usually have that done within the same week.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll stick with you, Elle. So another question we've had is, I'm studying in Turkey English medium program. Do I still need an IELTS score?
You are studying in Turkey on an English course. I'm sorry, I didn't follow that.
Yeah. If we could have some clarification on that, please. If you're studying the course in Turkish or English, or if you do just speak English, which you mean, please.
Often, I've got a lot of Turkish friends who speak English beautifully.
Hmm.
So, but I know I do know that on occasion they have had to, for some courses, had to take additional courses. Um, it might not be as strict as IELTS, but there has been English as a second language course that they might need to take. So it might be something to maybe investigate in terms of the course that Chelsea was referring to earlier on.
Yeah, it might just depend on the level of study that the
Yeah,
qualification
that's right.
compares to here as well. So, usually we would just check the UK equivalents first. If it has been delivered in English, a letter from your previous university stating that is absolutely fine. We can allow that as an exemption for the English language requirement.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'm not sure who to come to with this, but someone's asked what support is available for students during their online studies.
All sorts.
Yeah, this
We've got study skills. So we have a study skills department, very good, with anything academic. So formatting, there's the University of Library resources that they can use. We also have dedicated support advisors who they can contact. They'll be named. You'll be nominated one on enrollment, but then you can go back to the team, talk to them about their course and your program. And we will be introducing personal tuition as well. So this is something that will also be available to psychology students.
just to
Perfect.
add to
Thank
that as well, there will also be the disability team if students feel that they are eligible for that as well.
Yeah. And to do
Perfect.
it,
Thank you.
yeah, and if you do have a wrap in place or you do have additional needs, then the sooner you can get those needs addressed and met, and then we get a wrap in place for you, the better. Rather than struggle, it's better to make it as clear as possible as soon as possible, so that we can ensure that you reach your optimum potential from the beginning, rather than struggling. We hate to see students struggling unnecessarily.
Perfect. Thank you both. So we've had some clarification on that earlier question. So they are studying psychology in English. So I assume that would be what you mentioned, Chelsea, and that a letter from their previous institution would allow
Yeah.
them an exemption from the test.
Yeah, unless it states on the transcript. In some cases, it does say that it was delivered in English on the transcript, but if not, then yeah, a letter from the previous institution would be fine.
Perfect. Thank you. And I know we've touched on this, but another question we've had is, are there live classes?
There are live seminars. So there's a drop-in session every week with the tutor for each of the modules. So each of the module will have a different tutor. And there will be a weekly seminar session whereby you may touch on questions you might have about that week's topic. You may have questions about the assessment. You may have questions about anything really to do with the course. Where do I go from here? Um, it, so that's always live, but your lectures or your lecture casts are all pre-recorded and done at your own pace. And I think that's something that's really important to understand, as we do realise that an awful lot of people who study with us also have full-time other responsibilities, including work, caring, maybe studying other courses. So, you can pick up and put up down as and when you need it. It's not always at the same time. Also, our live sessions, so our tutors will run them at various times during the week, so that everybody has an opportunity, as much as we possibly can within the rounds of the 24-hour period, to have everybody be as involved or be given the opportunity to have a face-to-face session with their tutor.
Amazing. Thank you. I'll come back to you, Chelsea, for this final question. Um, you mentioned the regional scholarship earlier, and someone's asked, is Botswana eligible for this scholarship?
Yeah, we do currently have a 20% scholarship for the region of Botswana, yeah.
Perfect, thank you. And we do have another question. Someone's asked, is it possible to attend one semester on campus?
No, we don't have a campus. Our campus is online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is campus.
Perfect. So that is all we've got time for. Thank you again, Ellen, Chelsea, for taking the time to present today, and thank you to everyone else for joining. This session has been recorded, so you'll receive a recording of that in the next few days. If you do have any further questions, please feel free to get in touch with an admissions advisor, and they'll do their best to help you. But yeah, we do hope you found this useful and that you are still considering studying with us, and we hope to see you with us soon.